Google just launched Gemini 2.5 Flash Image, which is their latest image model, and they're calling it Nano Banana. This image model lets you blend multiple images into a single image. It's also really quick, and the regular outputs that you get are pretty impressive as well. So even though Google says on their blog that it costs 4 cents per image, if you use OpenRouter, they're offering a limited time free preview. So as you're watching this video, make sure that you go to OpenRouter, you set up your API key, and start experimenting with this, because we don't know how long it's going to be free. So head over to openrouter.com, make an account if you don't already have one, and then go to Models. Under Models and Output Modalities, click Image, and there you'll find Gemini 2.5 Flash Image Preview free. Click on the model, then click on API, and you'll see that it is indeed free, $0 for input tokens and $0 for output tokens. Create your API key. I already have one, but if you don't, just click Create API key, go ahead and create one and save it. Then head back to the API screen, scroll down. So let's pop over to N8N and I'll show you how to set this up. So here I am inside N8N. This is a fairly simple workflow. We're going to start with a chat request. And in this chat request, we are going to drop in our prompts. So just click the plus icon, type in chat and chat trigger. So once your chat trigger is set up, the next thing you need is an HTTP request, which you can get by typing in HTTP request. Once you add that to your canvas, double click it and make it a post request. And here is the URL, which you can find on this page, this URL up here. Copy that, paste it in here. Under authentication, choose predefined credential type. Under credential type, choose OpenRouter. You can type it in. And then go ahead and set up a credential with the API key that you copied earlier. Enable send body. Body content type is JSON, and specify the body using JSON. Under the JSON, make sure expression is selected. Expand this. Now I've modified this piece of code from which you can find on OpenRouter. So the OpenRouter code also contains an image if you want to pass something as a reference or ask it to analyze something. But since we're only concerned about generating images for now, I've modified this code to only pass in this and this. And I'll leave a link in the description to where you can get this code and this workflows that you can copy paste into your own N8N inputs. So here we have this code, and I've replaced the text with JSON.chat input, which is the prompt that we're going to be sending it. Now the response that you get is going to be called URL, but actually it's base64, which is a type of encoding for different kinds of files. So the next step is to process this by removing the earlier strings and only keeping the actual base64 encoding. To do that, we're going to use a code node. So I'm going to hook this up. Here's the code node. Basically, what this code node does is it takes this URL variable, it trims the first few characters, and outputs just the base64 data. Finally, we need to convert that base64 data into a file, so you can use that using the convert to file node, which you can find here, convert to file. The operation is move base64 string to file, drag the input field in here, give your output data field, give your output file a field, give it a file name, and under MIME type, type in image/png. And that's the whole workflow. Let's go ahead and hit save. Open the chat and let's give it a prompt. Generate an image of a succulent Chinese noodle. So it's going to make that HTTP request to Google Gemini through OpenRouter. It's going to get that base64 data, trim it using the code node, and convert that into a file. Let's double click this and see what Google has generated for us. View. So here it is, a succulent Chinese meal. Let's go ahead and try something a little more complex. Make an infographic comparing Google Gemini and Anthropic Claude. 3 points for each model. Let's hit enter and see what it comes back with. Right? Double click here and let's see the image. All right, so this is actually pretty impressive. There are some spelling mistakes, but otherwise, it's pretty awesome. All right, let's give it one more try. So this one's a bit more complex. Generate an image of Abraham Lincoln shaking hands with George Washington on Air Force One. Let's see what it comes up with. All right, pretty interesting, right? So there it is. The model is free for now. So once again, I'd encourage you to start playing around with this because we don't know when they're going to start charging. But if you want to skip a few steps, just click the link in the description to download this entire workflow and get started right away.